It's time for Ask the Expert, your chance to learn something new every day. Let's find out who our expert is today.
All right, Ask the Expert. We're so happy to have India Ramey here. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Did I get your name right?
You did.
Okay.
You did. Most people don't, so thank you.
Probably should ask that before we hit record, but all right. So I was lucky enough to see you last year at Desert Five Spot in Hollywood, and we were just blown away. Everything about it was top notch. I was like, oh my God, this lady is amazing. And so we got the press release. I'm like, oh, we have to do an interview with her. She's so good.
Thank you.
So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
So you have quite a catalog, but let's go back to the beginning real quick. Give everybody a little, in a nutshell, or a large, I hear to say a giant oak tree with what I've researched on you so far. How you got into music and, I mean, making it in Nashville. That's no easy task, man.
Well, my story is not the traditional artist way. I spent like most of my teenage and 20s, trying not to be a creative because all the adults in my life were telling me that wasn't ever going to make me a lot of, any living. And I grew up really poor, and it was really important to my mom for me to, have a career. And so I worked really hard in school and went to college and got an undergraduate degree in political science and got a law degree after that, and practiced law. I was practicing law for 10 years. And it was like during that time that I was lawyering that I got asked to be in a band that was like a bunch of other lawyers and accountants. And
Wow.
we did like bluegrass covers, and we did bluegrass covers of like non-bluegrass songs like Comfortably Numb, and we did Prince songs
Cool.
and like that. But we also like sprinkled in like a lot of Gillian Welch, and I really got into Gillian Welch a lot because it reminded me of my granddaddy's music, because my granddaddy was a bluegrass musician and a gospel musician, and it just felt like home to me. And then it opened up the writer in me. Like I just started writing a ton. And it was also around that time that I was introduced to Nico Case, and I got her Furnace Room Lullabies CD, and it made me just want to quit my job. Like I wanted to quit my day job. I was like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And, after some years negotiating with myself and my husband and my family, I did it. I quit, and I really haven't looked back. We moved to Nashville 11 years ago, and a lot of the people that moved here around the same time from my hometown have gone back, but here I am. I'm still going. I think it's just because I'm really obsessive. I don't know.
So you did your plan B first, and then you did the career. Like, I got the lawyer thing out of the way. Now I get to go have fun.
Yeah, I did it backwards.
It's good though. So do you have a song called Thank You, Nico? Thanks to Nico.
I should. I really should. And I used to do a lot of Nico Case covers when I first started, because I didn't have, like, back when I first started, I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, and if you get a gig in Birmingham, Alabama, it's a 4-hour gig, and it goes till 2 a.m. And I only had one album at the time, so I had to do a lot of covers to fill that 4 hours. And so we were kind of like half a Nico Case cover band and half an India Ramey band.
That's cool. And how do you find band members? What's the best? When someone comes into an audition, or is it most of the people you know? Like,
it's mostly word of mouth and like seeing people play. You go out to shows and you see somebody that's just a really sick pedal steel player, or somebody that's a great drummer. And like the guy that's playing drums with me most lately, I saw him play for somebody else and walked up to him and said, will you play with me? And but I mean, and I think that's a really great way for them to get gigs too and always stay busy. So it's always just been sort of organic.
So as far as I can tell, you have I mean, 6 total albums. That's a lot. You've been kind of cranking them out here. That's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like I always feel like I don't write enough, and then I have to remind myself that I've done 6 albums. But like it's kind of like my muse, it's like it's either feast or famine, like I'm either like writing a ton or I'm not, right? So I just kind of like go with it.
So for the people that are new to you, oh my God, your album titles are enough to make anyone, for me, I'd be like, okay, I have to hear this. This is just too interesting. Junkyard Angel, Blood Crescent Moon, Snake Handler. Okay, even the visuals there, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Um, Shaky Graves, Baptized by the Blaze. Did I say that right? And then in the new one, Welcome to My Villain Era. Like,
It's
I'm already
shallow graves and baptized by the blaze. Yeah.
okay. Sorry, Shell Graves.
No worries.
It's just like, it just is so intriguing. You're just like, wait a minute, there's a story behind this. What are these lyrics going to be about? There's something, it's just, it draws you in, not just like, hey, baby, let's dance. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but these are very a little deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a what people call an overthinker. So there's there's a lot of thought behind all of my lyrics and all of my titles. It's probably from a lot of rumination.
Mhm. Go on, Git. I think that's my favorite song of yours. I just love that song. And I go, wait, repeat, repeat, repeat. I go, this is too good.
I wrote that song. I was just kind of screwing around at home during I think it was like during the lockdown, like during
Oh,
the
right.
pandemic. And I wrote it about a politician that had overstayed their welcome, and it was like really clear that everybody was like over it. And I wrote like a verse and a chorus just to be funny, and put it on Facebook, and everybody got a really good laugh. But it kind of caught on, and I had a lot of people ask me to finish the song, so I went ahead and finished it, and I just threw it in this like Dropbox folder that I sent to Luke Wooten, the guy that produced Baptized by the Blaze. Um, and I must have just had like no regard for my own like personal dignity or anything when I threw that in, because he's like a big time producer, and I just like sent him all these songs, and Go On Get was in there, and that was one of the ones that he picked to go on the album. So I was like, well, this song just continues to shock me.
That's great. Let's see. So, Welcome to My Villain Era is what we're talking about today. Your project now. What can you tell everybody about that? I know you did it in
Um,
Los Angeles. I remember telling you you did it out here, which was a new thing, correct?
yes, yes. I recently well, in the past year, I was signed to Copaco Records, and they are a imprint label under Blue Align Records, and it's headed up by Eric Korn. And Eric Korn is also a really great producer, 2-time Grammy-winning producer, and he's done like mostly like blues albums. But he contacted me and my manager, and they kind of go back, like they have some history, and he was interested in working with me and putting me on one of his labels. He also has a label called 40 Below. And so honestly, like the vision that I had for this album, because I was already working on these songs, and I was like, the vision that I have for my next album, I want it to sound like Loretta Lynn and Johnny Cash came back from the dead and wrote a score for a Quentin Tarantino movie. So it already needed California a lot. And so it was just like the stars aligned for this album to get made in California. And we cut it at Stag Street Studios with a bunch of great musicians like Eugene Edwards and Chris Masterson, Eleanor Whitmore, and Ted Russell Camp and Kevin Brown. Boo Bernstein did the pedal steel, and it was such a collaborative, fun experience, and I felt so valued and respected as the writer and as the artist. Like Eric gave me a ton of input on these songs, and I really am grateful for that.
And why the villain era? It's such a neat,
Well,
anyone could have a villain era. Like, we're going out tonight, girls. It's our villain night. Or that's just it's just a cute saying. I don't know.
it's sort of like come up in pop culture lately, and it's like I follow a lot of like astrologers on TikTok and stuff, and it's sort of like become this phrase where it sort of defines a moment in somebody's life where they're done people pleasing, and it's time to start putting down healthy boundaries and time to start having some confidence in yourself and protecting your peace. And what makes it the villain era is that toxic people that aren't used to respecting boundaries, whenever you put those boundaries down with those people, they get really mad and they make you out to be the bad guy in their narrative, and the smear campaign starts and all that, and so like this song and this album for me was sort of a declaration of empowerment. It's like, if my protecting my peace and my putting down healthy boundaries out of self-preservation, out of self-respect, makes me the bad guy in your story, then I'm happy to wear the black hat. Like, make me the villain. I'm great at it.
That it's just the way you explain that is like, hold on, you're mad at me for me taking care of me. Wait, what?
Right. Right. And I'm like, if that makes me the bad guy, then fine. I'll be the bad. Sure. I'll be the
I
bad
would
guy.
say, that's a them problem, not you problem. That's a
Yes.
them problem.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I wear a black hat anyway, so I'm good.
So when did you first start playing guitar with the bluegrass? Or you from a family band? That must have been kind of fun. You'd wake up and they're just playing music all the time, or
Well, it was always like what my granddaddy was a multi-instrumentalist. Mostly he was into piano. He was a piano tuner for like over 30 years, most of his life. And he was a singer. He could sing tenor, like he could sing as a tenor, but he could also sing as a baritone. He was the baritone soloist in the naval choir. And it was really important to him that we played music. The problem is that I had like super bad focus problems as a child. So I was always like picking up an instrument and dropping it. And, so my granddaddy would just shake his head. But before he died, he really encouraged me to do something with my music. And he really believed in me as a singer and wanted me to work harder at it. And so I did. A lot of the reason why I gave up my day job was for my granddaddy, but I was a late bloomer. I didn't start playing guitar until yeah, when I was singing in that band, like in my late 20s, early 30s.
wow, that's
Hmm.
great. Are you sure your last name is not Carter?
Man, I wish.
Daddy played baritone. Mama played
Mama
fiddle.
Bear. Yeah. I know. And I met Carlene Carter
No, oh my
on
God,
the
she's my
Outlaw
favorite.
Cruise last year, and she is a hoot. She is like, not only is she a talented writer and singer and musician, but she could be a stand-up comic too.
Oh
She's
yeah.
real funny.
Oh, I could recite every little thing, a whole album or whatever. I'm obsessed with Carlene Carter.
Same.
She played at the Mint in LA, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and it's this small bar. And I was like, she's playing there. Are you kidding me? Like, I was totally freaking out. It was so cool. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
such a
I was sort of the same. Like we were on that cruise, I was in the lineup of that cruise too, but I just like fangirled her whole set. I just danced the whole time.
I should have been there with you. She would have been like,
I know.
that would have been dope.
Yeah.
So what are those cruises like? They're kind of like the new thing. They're not new, they've been around, but they keep popping up everywhere. So do you have different sets each night or there's just a few days, right, to really be seen and
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I think I had three sets
nice?
total, three or four, and they move you around different locations on the ship. And
That's cool.
I had never been on a cruise ever before until the previous year, and my manager wanted me to go just to meet people and stuff and just see what it was like. And a big storm came in one day, and they couldn't, like, a bunch of people couldn't go to the port of call, to have the day off the ship. So they needed more acts, and they had given like all the other people that, the day off or whatever. And so I got tapped in to do a pop-up set. And I put a band together in like a couple of hours, gave them charts. We did like a rehearsal, and then we went on stage and did a set. But the next year they booked me as like an official part of the lineup, and we did three sets. But I like when I was going on the cruise that first year, I didn't want to go because I had said I will never get on one of those things. But it's so fun. And I sleep really good on the boat because it's
Uh,
like you're being rocked like a little baby in a cradle. And it's so fun, and you get to see so many bands and artists. Like, it is like a music immersion. So if you haven't been on one, I really recommend you going on one. It's great.
and how long of a set do you get on those ships? Like a full hour or 90 minutes or like how does it work?
I think a couple of them were more than an hour.
Oh, nice.
It's such a blur. I think most of them were around an hour.
So good. So people get a good chance to really dive in and get
Oh yeah.
to know what you're
Yeah. I
doing.
mean,
Yeah. Okay.
everybody gets like an hour to a 90-minute set, and you get to see some really big artists. Like Margot Price is one of the headliners this year on the Outlaw Country Cruise.
Yeah, she's
And
amazing.
and you get to see like really great outlaw country bands like Shiny Ribs and Lucinda Williams. She's on it all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's an immersion in great music.
So, like when you were growing up, though, what did you like that style of music, or were you like, oh, I'm listening to Metallica, family. I'm not going to listen to banjos right now, or like,
Well, my first love of like my first musical fascination was Jesse Coulter. Like when I was 4 years old, like I was obsessed with Jesse Coulter because my father was really into Waylon, and he played that Outlaw album all the time. Um, and my parents were real into like Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles too. So I kind of grew up with this sort of like roots Americana foundation. But
yeah.
like in the 80s, like I was a small child in the 80s, but I was like going on 40 years old because I was just an old soul. And I got really into Duran Duran and Echo and the Bunnymen and like a lot of like dark wave and new romantic stuff and pop too because I was a kid. Uh, but it was in college. My best friend Joy and I started hanging out, and she was really into outlaw country, and we would like sit around and drink and talk smack and listen to Waylon and Willie, and it just like brought it all back, and whenever I write a song, even if I sit down to write like a pop song or a rock song, it always ends up coming out country. So I just go with it, especially with this accent.
Oh, that's awesome. So, of all your albums, like, do you have any like particular songs that you're the most proud of, or something like that, or ones where when you play them live, the people are like that's the jam. People are gonna go crazy when I do this one.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, it's kind of like trying to pick your favorite child, but The Mountain from my last album intensely personal, and I think it's super empowering for me and for whoever hears it. And on this one, God, it's hard to pick a favorite on this new one. I mean, I personally, there's a song on this album called "Nobody's Coming," and it's about personal empowerment too. You know, it's about that realization where you're like, nobody's coming to save me. I'm gonna have to pull myself out of this one. You know, and as a person who struggled with anxiety and depression, like I've been there, where you just like depression can feel like quicksand. You know, like it can feel like it's just sucking you down. And so there's like a really heavy quicksand metaphor in that song. And the title track, like Villainera, like
That's a great song.
it's real fun to do live too. But there's a lot of like barn burners on this one, like that one.
The fun term, barn burner.
Yeah.
One of my friends always says, he's like, life's hard, wear a helmet.
Yeah, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
harsh, but slightly true. So let's see what when it comes to like, where, like you said, the muse, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. Like, give us an example like of something from your latest album, like where you just there was the song or something like, like did you write anything super fast? Or was it something like, oh, I had that one part from 10 years ago. I finally pulled that out and rewrote it. It's people always tell me sort of stories like that.
The wild thing about this one was it just wrote itself.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't even know. I almost feel like the universe was like nudging me or something, because when I started really bearing down and writing for this album, I had no idea when I'd be putting out the next album because I'd spent so much money on the last one. But I had this feeling. I was like, I just have a feeling that I'm going to need these songs. So, I put Baptized by the Blaze out in August of 2024, and by November of 2024, I was in heavy writing mode, and I wrote and through the winter into the spring, and that's when the label came up and I got signed, and it was like then we were in the studio again by July. So it wasn't even a year from the time that I'd put out the last album that I was already in the studio again. And so all of these songs just like they demanded to be written. I feel like they just wrote themselves. The one of them that wrote itself the fastest was Crying in My Lingerie. Because I walk with my publicist. We're also friends, and we were talking about our exes, and I was just saying, like, I was like, he wasn't even good looking, like and he was making me feel bad about myself, and I was like, I mean, it shouldn't have been me crying in my lingerie. And she was like, please go home right now and write that song. And I did. I wrote it in probably about half an hour and sent it to her on my phone memo, and she was like, that's great. And she didn't even know we were putting it on the new album. And so I sent her a video from the studio and was like, look what we're doing. So it's on there.
That's like Beatles turnaround time. Wait, an album and then another one. So they used to do it back in the day.
That's the fastest I've ever done that. Usually there's like a couple of years between one album to the next, but this one was just like bam, bam, bam. I kind of prefer it this way though, because I don't do well with downtime.
Well, that's so interesting how you did one album and all of a sudden these songs just started coming out and you're like, I better do them. Unbeknownst to you, the universe is like, thank you, we needed this for later.
It was the weirdest
thing. You with that
like,
new label and been like, oh, I got to go write something. You're like, oh, well, as it happens to be, I've got a whole bunch ready.
Yeah, I was like, I've got about 20 already. Here you go. So I hope I can do that next time too.
That's amazing. And like in this day with music, like is merch really important? Touring? Where does the revenue streams come in? Because it's all changing landscape, I'm sure, since your first record. How do you navigate that as an artist?
merch, and that includes vinyl. Like
Yeah.
we need to sell those records and the CDs, and that's really sort of like most tour runs. I'm either breaking even or I'm losing money to go and play the shows, and the merch sales will kind of like get me over that hump where I'm not in debt when I get back. And at this stage in my career, I'm like one level up, and I won't be stressing it that much. I'll be making a little bit. I'll be making more, but it's really important for people. Like if people want to support musicians and they want to keep authentic, real music alive, you got to get off your couch and go to the show and buy something like we used to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we used to do, like not that long ago, people went to shows and bought music and paid for music, and it didn't seem weird. But now, music everything's free, but it's also important to independent musicians like myself, that aren't signed to majors or whatever. Like unfortunately, those streaming platforms, those numbers, those Spotify numbers matter a lot. Like when we're trying to book a show, if you want your favorite indie artist to come to your town, get out there and spin their music on the digitals too, because those talent buyers look at those numbers to decide whether or not to book us.
But I agree with that on some level, but then I'm like, can you just listen? Like you would be a no-brainer. I'd be like, sold. One video, like
I know.
spot, literally, we sat there, our jaws on the floor. I'm like, it's as if the headline, like you were the headliner of that show. Like you walked in and blew the roof off that place, and it's not that big of a place. They lost it. Like it was, it was so good.
That was such a fun night, and what a great band. Like the Y'all Star Review band. They just learned those songs like that week and backed me up expertly, and it was just really fun.
I think our time is good. They're going to tell us to be done in a second, but I want to make sure we cover. Okay, that being said, where can fans buy your merch? Where do people find you? I mean, obviously they can Google you, but give us the skinny on all that.
Yeah, they can go to indiaramey.com, and you can go you can also go to the Blue Elon website, blueelon.com. Or it might be Blue Elon Records, but either one, it all comes from the same place. So indiaramey.com, I've got my store on there, and I've got vinyl and t-shirts and hats and all kinds of fun things.
Can I get a custom villain mask, maybe? Like, I don't know. What's my villain attire I can get with your name on it? I should get
some of those made.
I don't know. Like, what did the villain wear? Like a Zorro mask or a bandana?
Bad guy stuff.
I just thought of that, like, wait, what's the villain merch we could hook up here? So
yeah. We do have black hats, so that's a start.
That's a start. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Well, Ramey, India Ramey, I'm so glad you were here. I'm a super fan.
Thank you.
Carlene Carter, if you're watching, your opening act is ready to go. So it's out to Double C, my favorite. So last interview I did with a woman I interviewed, Janet, she worked with John Carter Cash, so it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, you never
know. Watch this after that video, so I don't know. I'm hooking you up hopefully with something here.
Thank you. We'll put it out into the ether.
Exactly. Welcome to my villain era, kind of empowering song. I like that. So next time you get that moment with a friend or loved one, you can just remember that and be like,
yeah,
that's a you problem.
Exactly.
In a nice way. All right. Well, thank you. Good luck. I can't wait to see you play live soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Ask the S word. See you later.
All right. Take care. Welcome to my villain era. You're trying to play the victim.
now that I am sticking to my guns. Reckon that makes me the bad guy. So let the movie start. I'll be happy to play that part. Keep on pushing me, go on, I dare ya. Oh, welcome to my villain era. 'Cause you seem to need a bad guy for your little novella. I'm drawing a hard line, and it's turned you plumb yellow. Oh, welcome to my villain era. I'm ready for my close-up. Yeah, come on, get a real good look at what I've become. I used to aim to please, now I'm getting up off my knees. I'm taking a stand, you can't believe it, can you?